Tonight, a young girl steps out onto a dark highway directly in the oncoming path of a truck. And that's when she vanishes. New science says your brain might actually wake up after you die. So is the light at the end of the tunnel real? A babysitter checks under the bed for monsters and finds much more than she bargained for. And what starts as a ghost hunt in West Virginia turns into a real-life nightmare. The White House haunted? Whispers from America's attic suggest that the spirits of the president's past may still be pacing the hollowed halls. And in Pennsylvania, a 4-foot-tall hairy ape thief is back. That's right. You get the chance to meet the Albatwitch, Lancaster's little Bigfoot, tonight. A declassified trail leads from Langley to Legend, where the CIA and psychics chasing the Ark of the Covenant. And then we'll take you deep into the jungle. A lost Mayan city reemerges. But did the ancient sky people ever really leave? This is the only news you need to know from the only news source you can kind of trust. The Paranormal 60 News crew with me, Dave Schrader, Sweet Tea Greg, and our special correspondent this evening, Mike Rothmiller. That's next right here on the Paranormal 60 News. Good evening, my darklings, and thank you so much for joining me here this evening. I told you if you tuned in, you'd get the big news, and we've got some great news tonight breaking. You've heard of the new show, Paranormal Mysteries, that will be coming out this fall on Beacon TV, starring me, Dave Schrader, Shane Pittman, and medium Cindy Kaza. I know you're thinking, but boy, Dave, it's fun to watch you three work together on TV, but only if we could meet you and hang out in public and investigate with you. Well, we heard you, and we put together our first Paranormal Mysteries event featuring the cast of the Holzer Files at the Palmer House Hotel, Sauk Center, Minnesota, August 15th through the 17th. 2 nights of investigations, 2 full days of presentations, and a whole lot of fun. Tickets are on sale right now. Go to check it out at darknessevents.com. That's darknessevents.com. We are limiting this to the very first 60 people to sign up. You can either scan the QRC code if you're watching the show or watching the replay, or just go to darknessevents.com for more information on all of the great places I'm going to be this year. And a little bit later, I'll tell you about a place I'm going to be this weekend. So for those of you near the Newcastle, Pennsylvania area, and you keep asking, when am I going to come your way? This weekend, I will be out at Hillview Manor, so stay tuned. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. But first, let us begin. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the paranormal detective, Greg Lawson. Good evening, Greg.
Hey, old buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm excited to be here.
Can you hear me over the sound of the anacondas and giant mosquitoes behind you?
Dude, it is crazy here. I have my, my audio dampening system kicked in, and
it is good, especially out there in the marshes of wherever you are.
It's a wah, wah, wah.
So, listen, met with so many people last week, and they were excited to talk to me about whatever that loony thing was you were drinking last week. They want questions, and I don't have the answers. So the plunger on top of that faux coconut,
It wasn't a faux coconut. No, it's a real coconut. And it's just wrapped in plastic. Yeah,
wrapped in plastic.
Yep.
And what was the booze in like the dispenser? When you punch it, it pushes it down into the coconut?
Sort of.
Okay.
I kind of punched a hole in it, and then I used a funnel and injected it with a turkey baster.
This seems like a lot of work to get drunk.
You know, I could have a baby. I could have a coconut baby.
You could. You did last week. What are you drinking this week, Greg?
Oh, man. So one of the nicest men in the paranormal community, what was his name? John Tenney? Yeah. John Tenney. He gave me an entire bottle of Southern Comfort, which I have not drank since I was in high school. So we're cracking this baby open, and I'm going to puke probably at about 11:30.
Oh, that's good. Nice. Well, at least you're setting a goal early for yourself. That's good.
Got to have goals.
Let's talk to the bartender for the paranormal, the one, the only Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Hello, good evening, boys. How are you?
Good. What are you drinking this evening?
Oh, I've got this unholy concoction that I came up with.
Okay.
It's got some vanilla vodka, some vanilla Tootsie Rolls marinated for a week, and some packets of A&W water enhancer. It's a beverage.
It's a beverage. Is it good though? Not as good as last week's sloppy mess that you made?
No, it might be better, but it's still it's
sounds like grog or jail hooch.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Throw some Cheetos in there and stir. It would be perfect for jail hooch.
I will have you know that listeners actually care about me. You know what they showed up with last week at the Palmer House for me?
What's that?
Aspirin? An unopened bottle of Screwball eggnog that they've kept refrigerated the whole time. And it was not lumpy.
You can do that?
Not 1 ounce of lump in it. It was thin and delicious.
Well, you got there's alcohol in there, so that you should be able to keep for a while.
You saw what I poured. It came out looking like Elmer's glue. It was not
cottage cheese.
Right. Yeah, a little bit of that too. And then I was given, they listen. I was given a full bottle of Screwball whiskey and a bag of bit of honey.
Wow.
So I immediately came home and set them down and forgot that I had both. So I didn't make my drink this week. I am just going to settle with a can of Soda Shop Pepsi Cola made with real sugar.
Oh,
that's as close to my mixed drink as I'm. So let's get started. Gal, there was an interesting piece of news that came out. That was very Christopher Walken of me. I don't know why I'm talking like that.
It was nice.
The CIA, psychics, and the quest for the Ark of the Covenant was the news that broke earlier this week. And a revelation that sounds straight out of a spy thriller. Recently declassified CIA documents have unveiled a clandestine operation from the late 1980s. The mission? To locate the legendary Ark of the Covenant. Not through conventional means, but via psychic remote viewing. So among all of these notes and files that have been released over the last few months, this is one that seems to have caught the attention of quite a few people. But I happen to know that this story is nothing new. And there's a gentleman who had a good jump on this quite a while ago. As a matter of fact, he wrote a book called Secrets, Lies, and Deception. And he goes into many different parts of history we didn't know about. He's here with us now, Mike Rothmiller, our very special guest. And we have a link for Mike's book in today's program guide, so you can learn more about this story and so much more. Mike, thanks for joining us this evening.
Oh, my pleasure.
Let's talk about this, right? They're making it sound like this is breaking news. How long ago did you find out that we were trying to find the Ark of the Covenant?
Probably 25 years ago. And,
really?
Yeah. And I spoke to a guy who worked for an intelligence agency who actually went on the search looking for it. And he said they traced what they thought they traced it into Ethiopia, but they could never confirm it because it's in a shrine and the shrine is guarded 24/7. So that's where it ended. But as far as the documents on the Ark, Noah's Ark, I probably got those documents at least 20 years ago out of the CIA and put them in that book. That book's about 10 years old now. And so it's nothing new. What is semi-new is the psychic issue of it that they put out. But that they just said, a guy said, hey, it's over there somewhere on Mount Ararat or wherever it's at, and that's what it boiled down to. But the
so two arcs, two different stories, two different histories, both believed to have been discovered by our government, at least tracked down. Now, this one on Mount Ararat, they've been talking about, you see this large thing that looks like a ship perched upon the mountaintop, kind of buried in snow and amongst the rocks. I mean, there's got to have been some treks that have been made up there, Mike, right? Have we
Oh,
been
yeah.
able to go up and confirm that this is Noah's Ark, or at least something that fits that bill?
Well, some people have gone on expeditions over there, and a former astronaut too, but it wasn't to the object that they believe was in a glacier on top of the mountain. It was one lower down a formation, but the documents, it's not something they took lightly. I mean, Woosley, who was the director of CIA, was involved in this and knew about it. And this search went on for, oh man, probably 30 years. They were looking, and satellite photography, U-2 flyovers, everything you can imagine. They spent millions on it. And the request for this came from an Air Force full sergeant, the chief of the Air Force, from congressmen, from senators, from other people, and said, hey, what do you know about the Ark? Show us the photographs that you've taken from spy planes and everything. And they go back and forth that, no, we can't really release it. And they haven't been fully analyzed. This is how the reports go through over 20 years. And then they finally say, well, we really haven't identified anything. But in one report, they allude to it, said, we've identified an object, but we're not going to release what it is or who found it. So what does that mean? Either they found an old house, an old shack or something up there, or the Ark, so you just don't know, because they really weren't that clear on it when they're writing those reports. And
well, Mike, now I know, like, according to the legend, that Adolf Hitler and his group, they were fascinated with holy religious artifacts. They really truly did want to find the spear of destiny, the nails from Christ's cross, pieces of Christ's cross. They would do this, and it's been a long withstanding part of history, right, where many different groups would lead the charge in battle with maybe like the hand of a saint, or a piece of clothing of Mary Magdalene, something they thought would give them the edge moving forward. So when we talk about things like the Ark of the Covenant, Raiders of the Lost Ark, we talk about the spear of destiny, the spear that lanced the side of Jesus Christ and caused him to bleed, the chalice that is believed to have captured that blood that continues on out there somewhere, that, the goblet that everybody wants to find. Those, at least, that seems to have some kind of interesting folkloric power to it. Why does our government care about a big ship that's been abandoned on top of a mountain?
Well, they searched for all of those items through the years. And from some of the people I spoke to within that intelligence community, they said there are so many religious people from various sects throughout the world who believe in these items. And so if you have that item, you automatically attain power. And then they said, taking it a step further, if, say, the Ark of the Covenant actually has the power that they said, you have all the power in the world at that stage, militarily. So there are a number of reasons. One is psychological, and the other was, maybe this thing is real and it actually has a lot of power.
Well, let's talk about this concept, Operation Project Sunstreak. During the Cold War, according to this article, the CIA initiated Project Sunstreak, an offshoot of their exploration into psychic phenomena. The project aimed to harness remote viewing, a purported ability to perceive distant or unseen targets through extrasensory perception. And on December 5th of 1988, a remote viewer identified only as number 32 was tasked with the blind assignment to describe a specific target without any prior information. And unbeknownst to that viewer, the target was the Ark of the Covenant, the fabled box that carried the 10 Commandments and Moses' staff and many other, they believe, holy relics. And they believe that, there's been some talk that this was actually like a battery of some sort, perhaps even a radio that was used in the day. Fascinating that they would do this, but Was this an honest task of we need to find the Ark of the Covenant, or was this just let's test our people in this remote viewing category and send them after some of the most weird and obscure things to see what they can locate, or even if they can pick up on something?
Ultimately, it's probably testing both. They wanted to test them, see if they're going to make something up, or can they really find something? Because some of those remote viewers were pretty accurate on some of the items that they saw, whether it was a satellite or something else on the ground. So while they were doing it, it was all top secret, and they probably said, "Well, we might as well have them give it a try." Finding that, and who knows what other relics, and see what they come up with. But as far as the remote viewers that I know about, they never really found it.
It was more about kind of tapping into the sense. They said that they were on the trail for quite a while. That the disappearance after the Babylonian conquest of Jerusalem in 586 BCE left a void filled with speculation, from theories suggesting its presence in Ethiopia, as you brought up, to those proposing it lies hidden beneath the Temple Mount. And I know there are a few different churches around the world that claim to have it. As a matter of fact, there's only one priest, I believe it's one in Ethiopia, that's allowed to go behind the veil where they keep it. Obviously this is an interesting relic, but so many of these areas have been broken into, looted, and you would think something that commanded that kind of power in history would have been overturned by now, Mike.
You would think so, but then it's a matter of where was it actually last seen, that so they can verify it to the best of their ability, and what happened after that. It's like so many relics from 2,000 or 3,000 years ago or longer. It's just pretty much just folklore at this stage as far as what happened to them, because nobody can prove anything. It would be nice if they could. It would be very interesting. It would change the world and it would change history. But to this date, it's just a matter of they launched a lot of searches, spent millions of dollars looking for just Noah's Ark. And from all the reports, they came up with nothing, or at least nothing they're going to tell us about.
Do you think there's an aspect of this that is, we have found them, but they're crumbling, they're falling apart, you're not going to see it and suddenly hear the voice of God? Oh, there's not this power. It's nothing more than a relic we would have found in any thrift store. Do you think that has something to do with it? Let's keep the magic alive, the illusion of it, by not really revealing what these things are or what we found? Or do you think they really just have not fully uncovered what these mysteries are still?
I think they probably haven't uncovered it and found any relics, because I think through time they would have certainly used that knowledge on some sort of propaganda worldwide, or who knows when they found it. If it was 50 years ago or 10 years ago, they certainly would use that information to let it leak out that they have found some ultimate power, especially like the Ark of the Covenant. So I just think they really haven't come across anything yet.
All right. Fascinating stuff, Mike. Thanks for popping on. Tell everybody a little bit about your book and what other fine secrets, lies, and deceptions they could uncover by reading the book.
Okay. It took me over 20 years to put that book together. All the documents are in there. There's 85 true stories that the government didn't want you to know, like how many atom bombs they've lost, things like Hitler's bizarre sex life, Osama bin Laden. That's one of the most interesting ones, is that I have Bill Clinton's telephone transcripts talking about bin Laden about 3 years before 9/11, asking another prime minister to take him out because he knows the U.S. is going to get hit. Then there's some stuff, the JFK documents that just came out, have that LBJ's conversations, telephone call the day after Kennedy was killed. And basically they decided at that time, they didn't know what the Warren Commission was going to be, but they said, LBJ dictated, this is the outcome that you have to find. And they did that. And also having the documents where Lee Harvey Oswald was in fact working for the CIA for many, many years. And I've got the CIA documents in there.
I'm going to have you on WCCO soon with my Paranormal 360, because I want to talk about some of these secrets and conspiracies, but I'm just curious. one of the new stories that seems to have come out due to this information that's been released is that there's footage or photographs of Oswald actually down in Dealey Plaza, not up in the book depository. What do you think of that?
Well, I want to see it, first of all, but then you have to remember that when was that photograph or that film taken? Was it after the shooting? Because Oswald left the building. The other said he was in there and he left. So in all likelihood, he probably came out that door, and maybe there's an image of him. But when was the image taken? That's going to tell the whole story. But yeah, the big thing I'm waiting to come out, because I spoke with one of the doctors that was in the ER when they brought in Kennedy, and it's already pretty much proven. I proved it in my last book. It just came out on JFK, but this was a shot entrance wound. It wasn't a trach. He said they never cut a trach in there. And so that being an entrance wound, that means has to be two shooters and somebody shooting from the front.
How about the claim that it's the driver? There's footage that appears to show the driver lean back, and then you see Kennedy's head snap. What do you make of that? Shenanigans? Poor timing?
Yeah. No, I think it's just poor timing. He just happened to look around, and because that you would have that on film from somebody, and you have 1,000 witnesses out there that would have seen something like that, and then you'd have to have a conspiracy of everybody involved. And I came from working police intelligence. I know the mafia, they do conspiracies, but the more people know, the more it leaks out.
Right.
Yeah. So
what is it? They say the best way to keep a secret between two people is kill one of them.
Yeah, that's right. One has to be dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, thank you so much for stopping in tonight and giving us a little insights on this. And we do have a link for Mike's book on today's program guide. Pick it up, read for yourself, educate yourself, enlighten yourself, and remember to rate and review the book as well. Thanks again, Mike.
Thanks. Take care.
Take care. Very cool, fascinating stuff, guys. What do you make of this stuff when you hear about it, Greg? The Ark of the Covenant, we've been after it, the Noah's Ark, these, the Holy Grail, the Spear of Destiny. Do you think that there's really something to us going after that, or was it just propaganda?
No, I really think there is. I think that those, I believe that those objects existed. Things are coming true every day. Different stuff is coming true every day that everybody told us it wasn't.
Right.
Our government has, everything from, you can go to, the fallacy of the food pyramid to everything else, man. There's some horrible people out there that have been manipulating us, and God forbid, well, no, not, I guess that wouldn't work. If somebody got a hold of, let's say, the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant, and they could do something with it or destroy it or whatever to just try to flush Christianity away and try to keep it away, I'm pretty sure that somebody, matter of fact, Scott Walter probably has it in his basement. There we go. We probably have this thing solved right now.
I believe there was a report that came out like 20 or 30 years ago that according to the Masons, they've acquired it and it's hidden inside a mountain in Colorado somewhere.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Scott would know about that.
Yeah. I just saw, it was one of these quick little news stories. I haven't had a chance to research it, but it sounds so absurd. I believe this might have some legs. It was talking about this priest who went to visit the mummified hand of Mary Magdalene. And they would bring it out like once a year, and people would come and, touch it or pray to it and things. This priest leaned forward and bit two of the fingers off.
What?
So that, yeah. And they were like, what the? And he kept them and then spit them out later so that he could bring them to his church. So he would have the two fingertips of Mary Magdalene. So I have to look into that to see if that's another one of those weird.
This wasn't a dream you had?
No,
I don't.
It could have been. I don't know. It's been a long couple of weeks and I'm very tired, but yeah. All right. Let's talk about lost things that are now found. Greg, you're going to take us out to Mayan ruins.
Man, this is a really interesting story. I I haven't had that much Southern comfort in me, so I think I can articulate
Wow.
most of this.
Okay.
They've been working on this for a while. Lost Mayan Metropolis, where the sky people were the there you go, man. Started already.
Hard. Yep.
Were the sky people watching?
Mhm.
Deep in the Mexican jungle, a forgotten city has awakened thanks to lasers shot from the sky. That's not sci-fi. That's LiDAR. And it just
Wow.
uncovered a massive ancient city in the Yucatan, the Mayan city called Ocamtun, right? Ocamtun. Hidden beneath centuries of the dense forest canopy in the Yucatan. We're talking towering structures, ceremonial plazas, intricate causeways, and what appears to be a massive ball court where life, death, and myth all collide. Archaeology, oh boy.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
How's that? Taste good?
Archaeologists say it
Mm-mm.
thrived from 600 to 900 AD, right in the heart of what we call the classic Maya period. But this is where it gets strange. The city wasn't found because someone stumbled across a ruin. It was found using aerial scans, and the geometry of its layout, and it was caught their attention. Perfect symmetry, astronomical alignments, a city seemingly designed to connect heaven and earth. Does this sound familiar to you, Dave? I don't know.
A little bit.
The Mayan were obsessed with the stars. Their calendar predicted celestial events with eerie precision. Their gods, many whom were described as descending from the heavens, were honored through blood rituals and massive stone temples. They left behind artwork of feathered serpents, beings wearing what looked like breathing apparatus, and flying craft. Some even claim the gods came on smoke and fire. You think about a rocket descending to Earth, like maybe, I don't know, SpaceX or something, that would make sense, right? So
I don't think SpaceX was around back then, though.
I mean, time travel, dimensional. So when we find a completely unknown city, one this advanced, hidden in the jungle for over 1,000 years, it begs the question: was Ocamtun another portal point for the sky people, or what wonders will be unearthed with the continuing expedition? Back to you, Dave.
Wow.
You sounded like you were bored by this story.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
Could it be something people
I'm
are
bored with my inability to read is what I'm bored with.
Oh, buddy. Hey, you're doing great.
Thanks, bud.
Hooked on Phonics works. You just keep
Makes
trying,
sense to me.
slugger. All right, Sweet Tea.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, it's time for you to tell us a story.
Okay, hey.
Yeah.
No, I'll just read it. Turns out we all had the same mom. All right, Darklings, buckle up for this one because science just dropped a twist that sounds like the setup to a sci-fi origin story. Or maybe just a cosmic reminder that we're all one big weird family. According to a recent genetic study, all modern humans can trace their maternal lineage back to a single woman who lived around 200,000 years ago in what's now northern Botswana. Yep, you heard that right. One woman, one region, and brace yourself. She's literally all of our great times a few thousand grandmother.
Could you imagine if I lived in that same time era with the most fertile woman on the planet? The one
Oh my
woman
God.
all come
This
from?
planet we would have no room between people if that was the case. It would be too much.
We already do. And that's not even half of it being Schrader's yet.
I know, but it'd be worse. Scientists use mitochondrial DNA. That's the genetic stuff passed down only from your mom. That's right, your mom, to track back through the maternal line of over 1,000 200 people from across Africa, and every line led to the same place, a lush, life-giving wetland south of the Zambezi River, now mostly dried up, but once a thriving cradle for early humans. They're calling her mitochondrial Eve, not the biblical Eve, mind you, but the scientific one. She wasn't the only woman alive at the time, but she's the one whose maternal line didn't fizzle out. And through her children and their children, and so on, here we are. Think about that next time you're cursing at traffic. The guy honking next to you? Yeah, he's your 200,000th cousin. I'm not, but of course.
Did you dislocate the uvula? How did
I did. It hurt a little bit, and I'm trying to recover. But of course, not everyone in the scientific world is sold on the neatness of it all. Some argue that focusing just on maternal DNA oversimplifies things. There are other humans walking around in other parts of Africa too, like Ethiopia and Morocco. So the full story may be messier, maybe even more amazing. Still, it's kind of humbling, isn't it? Whether you're in Minneapolis, Mongolia, or Madagascar, we all come from the same place. We are quite literally brothers and sisters from the same mother. Back to you, Dave.
One slutty African. I like it.
Isn't this theory been around? Hasn't this theory been around for decades that we all come from one woman?
It is
in Africa.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I heard that that's the cradle of society, that we probably began. The Garden of Eden was probably
somebody had to start it, right? Somebody had to start it. It didn't just like all of a sudden there's 500 people sitting there.
Or is there?
Or are there?
What if they were all dropped off by different alien species?
Because
I'm from the
we're on a prison
Baldors.
planet?
I'm just saying, yeah, we are the Australia of the universe. We
Yeah.
are the prison planet. They just send all their schmucks right here, and we
We're
populate.
the ne'er-do-wells of the universe.
Speaking of ne'er-do-wells, let's talk about the White House, shall we? Is it haunted?
Yes. Next question.
Politics might scare the hell out of some of you, but the real chills might actually be coming from something else inside the White House. No, not what you think. We're not talking about policy decisions either. We're talking about ghosts.
Wow.
That's right. Yeah. Let's start with the big one. There is Abraham Lincoln, as he liked to be called, the big one. I have that in his diary that I've read. Old Honest Abe has been spotted more times in the White House than some living presidents. Seriously, over the years, people have reported seeing him pacing the halls, staring out of windows, even knocking on doors. And we're not talking about just random tourists either. Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands said she opened her bedroom door during a 1942 visit and saw Lincoln standing there in his top hat. She fainted. How about Winston Churchill? Supposedly came face to face with Lincoln after stepping out of the bath naked. He looked at the ghost and casually said, "Good evening, Mr. President. You seem to have me at a disadvantage."
Good for him.
Greg, Winston Churchill is a delight. Don't you fake laugh.
Love that guy.
Yeah. How about Grace Coolidge, wife of President Calvin Coolidge? She also saw Lincoln staring out a window in the yellow Oval Room, and he appeared to be deep in thought. But Lincoln's ghost is not alone. As a matter of fact, the ghost of Abigail Adams has been seen floating through the East Room with her arms out like she's still doing laundry. Staff have even claimed to smell soap and wet clothes when she's around. Then there's Andrew Jackson, still reportedly swearing and stomping around his old bedroom. The Rose Room. Mary Todd Lincoln said she heard him, and on several staff have actually backed up that account over the last 50 years.
Could we not have actual photos that, like we did with Lincoln, of all these other ghosts?
No, they were there was not good cameras.
Probably need to get some
showed
photos.
up. Yeah. Especially because, Churchill was naked. And he still managed to get a good shot. How about David Burns? No, not the lead singer of the Talking Heads. The guy who originally owned the land of the White House. People have heard him saying, "I'm Mr. Burns."
Wow.
Walking around telling people, I'm Mr. Burns.
It's not someone doing like a Simpsons reference
No.
because okay.
Excellent.
Pretty sure.
Even recent residents have felt chills. Jenna Bush Hager, daughter of George W. Bush, swears that she and her sister heard old-timey piano music coming from their fireplace. Not a Bluetooth speaker glitch, not a neighbor, just eerie 1920s style music. And they actually talked about it on the morning show, whatever it is, today's show, tomorrow's show, yesterday's show. And Jenna and Barbara Bush were talking about it. And one of the butlers that worked at the White House would tell them, oh, yes, we're well aware of it. You're fine. You're safe. So they just learned to live with the sound of the music coming from the fireplace. Now get this. Check this out. Jenna Bush Hager's husband apparently went on a casual ghost hunt in the White House after a few drinks. And that's a date night we could all kind of respect, right? He's just roaming about, kicking up ghosts.
Significant other's house instead of
Why all this ghostly activity at the White House? Well, again, some folks say it's the emotional energy that's been left behind, decisions made in times of war, death, upheaval. Others think these spirits are sticking around to keep an eye on things. Honestly, if I were Lincoln, I'd probably hang around too, just to see how the rest of the show goes. He hasn't had great luck with that stuff, but I think it's, the White House being haunted, that everybody always says, what's the one place you wish you could get into? The White House, far and away, is the one place I would love to investigate. Could you imagine just having the White House to yourself for like a weekend?
Yes.
And I've got to guess, if they've been running recorders and there's cameras, I bet they have weird footage and audio.
Oh, I never thought about that. They totally do. Are you kidding me?
What if like that 13 minutes of missing tape from Nixon is because Wally's talking about we're going to go out there and blow up the Japs. All of a sudden you hear Abraham Lincoln. He's like, oh, we don't call him that anymore, Richard. What if it's like Lincoln just keeps, his ghost keeps Baba Booey every time. I could be wrong.
That sounds like him. Yeah,
it does. Right. That totally sounds like him.
Yeah.
Listen, some more big news. Big news. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. The Outer Edge, Step into the Unknown, a brand new program I'm a part of. I just got a chance this last weekend at the Palmer House Hotel with 30 of my closest friends. As we were there for the weekend to investigate, we got to show the first half of the documentary, and great results. People really loved it. So for you, my darklings, I would like to share this. It's about a 1.3-second trailer for The Outer Edge. Before you ask, where's it going to air? How can I watch it? We've just completed it. It is now going to be shopped out to networks, streaming services. So I hope to have a home for it by this fall and get you a chance to watch it. This is the documentary meant as a backdoor pilot. This is a quick look.
In a world shrouded in mystery, there are those that dare to venture into the unknown. But what drives these individuals to dedicate their lives to investigate the unexplained? My name is Dave Schrader, and for decades, I've traveled the globe investigating the bizarre realms of the paranormal.
It appears to have been a close encounter of the second kind.
From UFOs to ghosts to cryptids and all things paranormal. Join me as I uncover the stories of those who shed light on the mysteries that captivate us all. This is the search for something greater, and for me, it's only just the beginning.
We still don't understand what happened here.
The ultimate mystery.
Welcome to The Outer Edge.
I am very proud of this project and love the way it looks, the filming, the stories, the people that we're able to meet. This is really kind of taking a step into getting to know the people that are fascinated with the things that we love on the show. Finding out who gave up what in order to chase these dreams, to try to understand the mysteries of the universe and beyond. And we've got a lot of great guests that are part of the first one. Dalen Spratt, Scott Walter, the forensic geologist from America Unearthed. Echo Bodine is a part of this. And there are some other secrets I don't want to spill quite yet, but it was so much fun to get a chance to watch it with the crowd and hear them, and they seem to like that there was humor left in the show. There's some heart left in the show. So I'm really excited about it. I will be letting you know as we release more clips. And if you'd like more information, you can follow Outer Edge, right? Isn't that Outer Edge? My brain went to the fray there. Follow Outer Edge on Facebook or on Instagram, and you'll keep up to date. They're going to be putting up some clips. They'll even be putting up some of the cutouts that won't make the final show, but are really cool pieces. So keep checking and go follow on Facebook and on Instagram for all of those updates. Greg.
Hey, buddy.
I'd like to talk to you next about your next story. But first, I think what might be better is, what if we just took a very short break?
It'd probably be better.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll come right back. We've got more news to share. Greg, the paranormal detective Lawson, is up next on the Paranormal 60 News.
Oh, are you reading me? Come in. Hello? Greetings from the Shadow, and welcome to Shadowzine. My name is Jeff Belanger. I'm an author, podcaster, and explorer of the unexplained. For 30 years, I've been investigating the paranormal, UFOs, monsters, and things that bump in the night. Lately, you may have noticed how major TV networks and even social media networks have been pushing our favorite subject back into the shadows. I say good. That's why I launched Shadowzine, a monthly underground publication that covers your favorite topics in depth by some of the leading writers and researchers out there. If you're looking for 30-second TikTok clips, go somewhere else. If you're ready for a deeper dive, put down your phone and pick up Shadowzine. You can't find it in stores. This is old school print. Head to shadowzine.com and be part of the underground revolution. That's shadowzine.com, and I'll see you in the shadow.
In the brand new volume of Shadowzine, I think number 3 is out now, and it includes the paranormal side of Mark Twain. Varla Ventura is the guest author in the new issue, and check it out. It's a great story, fascinating. There's a link again for Shadowzine on today's program guide.
We love Varla.
I love that you bring this story to us, Greg, because again, being former law enforcement, former military, this story is the kind of story that puts terror in everybody's hearts, especially parents. And I don't know how I would respond to this one. So I'm interested to get your take on this once you've shared with us. So please go ahead. What's this story about?
Pretty crazy. And I really like the way that Sweet Tea started hers off. So, Kansas babysitter checks for monsters, finds a real one. All right, Darklings, you like that? Huh?
Oh, look at you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one is straight out of a horror movie, except it's horrifyingly real. So picture this, you're babysitting, the kids are tucked in, lights are dimmed, and then one of them hits you with the classic line, "Could you check under the bed for monsters?" You smile, you laugh a little, because of course there's no monsters under the bed. Right, Dave? Wrong. In Great Bend, Kansas, babysitter was doing that exact routine and found something most of us would never expect, an actual man hiding under the bed.
No!
Yeah. And not just any man, turned out to be Martin Villalobos. I love saying that.
No, not him.
Jr. Yeah, he's doing it again. 27-year-old who used to live in the home, but had a protection from abuse order filed against him. Yep. He wasn't supposed to be anywhere near that place. Naturally, things got chaotic fast. There was a struggle. One of the kids got knocked over in the scuffle, and the guy bolted out of the house before police arrived. But the next morning, officers caught him after a short foot chase. He's now facing a laundry list of charges, including aggravated kidnapping, burglary, battery, child endangerment, and his bond is set at $500,000. This is one of those stories that really hits home because let's be honest, how many of us grew up afraid of something under the bed, and how often did we laugh it off? Yeah. But sometimes the things kids fear aren't just imagination. Sometimes the monsters are real, and they're really disturbingly human.
Well
to you.
said.
Words do be hard.
Yeah.
Now I know how you would respond because you're a former cop. You just pull out your pistola and start pow, 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 pow.
I would absolutely Three Stooges him under the bed.
Wish you just start
Yeah,
pulling his hair and poking him in the eyes.
Oh yeah,
okay.
because they can't. They're stuck under there. Yeah. I had a guy stuck under a car one time. I just started picking up rocks and hitting him with rocks, get him out from underneath the car.
Greg, I heard something horrific this weekend.
Yeah,
I was talking to Scotty the medium. He's a New Jersey cop. And we kind of got on the topic of weird things like this, people getting in the house. I know the laws are in Texas because I may have to move there. I was talking about, well, at least if they come in, right? The old saying was when I was a kid, if you shoot them and they fall out the window, go outside and push them back in, right? They have to be in the house if you shot them. And he goes, oh, no. As a matter of fact, unless they have specifically come in to hurt you, you can't do anything in New Jersey. So most people are told to just keep their keys by the front door. So if somebody breaks in, they can just grab the keys, grab what they want and leave. Now, if you went up the stairs and were coming in the room, you have a better chance if you shoot them of not going to jail yourself. But if you shoot somebody in your home that has broken in, you can go to jail for manslaughter.
Yeah.
And I was gobsmacked. I'm like, wait, this person broke into the home. And they're like, yeah, but as long as nothing violent is occurring, you don't have the right to take their life or shoot them. Just like you can't booby trap a house like Kevin from Home Alone. So
he would so be in jail.
Right.
That's crazy. What, you can't defend yourself? You don't know what's going to happen.
You can defend yourself. But if I just walk in and I'm like, I want keys and all of Popeye's chicken on your counter, and I do it non-aggressively, non-threateningly, you just got to give it to me and shut up.
Noted.
Greg,
next time I
Texas,
visit you.
I could get shot just for snoring, right? Isn't that kind of the law in Texas?
Yeah, I don't want to wake people up.
Remember that old commercial? They used to have those like recipe cards with all of the cowboys on it. You'll learn about John Wesley Hardin, a man so tough he once shot a man just for snoring.
Yep.
Yeah.
So in Texas, it's a stand your ground state. So your home is your castle. Don't come in our house. It's really funny up east. There are so many weird little laws as far as being able to defend yourself, defend your property. It's very, very bizarre.
Yeah, that's crazy that you have to worry about. You think protecting yourself, protecting your family, that's number one deal. I also get you don't want violence to pop off. So if I come in and I'm not being violent, just give them what they want, let them leave, and nobody gets hurt. I kind of get that concept, but it also seems like that's not a brilliant way to handle it.
Middle of the night, somebody comes in your house, you have to have precognition, be able to see the future that they're not going to hurt you.
Right.
They're inside your house.
But that doesn't matter because you can't prove that in a court of law. Listen, as a woman, you're going to make me prove that this person is going to harm me?
Yep.
No, I don't want to murder. I don't want to kill anybody, but I also do not want that thing to happen to me.
Are you sure? Because I think I've sat next to you in restaurants when people are chewing with their mouth open at the table next to us, and you're pretty close to killing them with a rusty spoon.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't understand the people that think that way and say that, the thing about it is that even in Texas, so you have to be in immediate danger to defend yourself, as far as you have to believe that this person is about to hurt you. So it's 2:00 in the morning. Somebody kicks in my front door. I run down there to see what's going on. And they're there. I have to somehow figure out in the dark that they don't have a gun or a knife. And I have to predict that they're not going to try to kill me.
That's why I sleep with a headlamp on? and it's on all night long. So if I sit up, I can see if you've got a gun or knife. And if you don't, I'm like, hey, my wife's right there. Take her, take the car. Just don't hurt me.
You know what solves this a little bit?
What?
And also makes everybody better human beings?
What's that?
You have a dog.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, the stats on people who have dogs as far as burglaries are very low compared to people who don't have dogs.
I don't know. I watch a lot of movies. I think if I just come in with a steak in my pocket, toss it, the dog's going to go eat the steak while I ransack the house.
Keep it in your pocket and you can be buddies.
Very nice. Well, it's not the only weird crime in the paranormal. Another tragedy befell us this week. Sweet Tea, please.
Okay, I don't like the story. And also, I want to say real quick, I'm very excited about The Outer Edge. That looks fantastic.
I am too, man, Dave. That looks fantastic.
Hey, you guys, Ghost Hunt in West Virginia ends in real life horror. Darklings, this one isn't your typical spooky tale. It's a sobering reminder that when you go chasing ghosts, it's not always the spirits you have to worry about. A group of ghost hunters recently headed out to explore an abandoned property in Martins Ferry, West Virginia, a spot rumored to be haunted. But what started as a thrill-seeking night turned into something tragically real. Gunfire erupted, and multiple juveniles were caught in the crossfire. One life was lost, all in the name of a ghost hunt gone horribly wrong. Authorities say the group was exploring late at night when someone opened fire with a 6.5 Creedmoor rifle, a high-powered round that not exactly known for subtlety. Details are still unfolding, but here's the hard truth, folks. The most dangerous thing about ghost hunting is rarely the ghost. It's the location themselves. Abandoned, decaying, structurally unsound, and sometimes it's the people who might already be there. Squatters, criminals, or just someone who doesn't take kindly to trespassers. Those are the threats that can hurt you in a heartbeat. This isn't the first time we've heard of a haunted hunt ending in violence, but this one hits hard. It's a chilling wake-up call for all the amateur investigators and thrill seekers out there. Want to chase shadows? Respect the space. Get permission. Bring a team. Stay alert, because sometimes it's not the dead you have to fear, it's the living. And usually it is mostly the living. And back to you, Dave.
Yeah, those are tragic. I've told people when putting together a team, maybe we all seem to know a cop. Reach out to a local police officer, a friend. You do. His name is Greg Lawson, now former police. But, a lot of police are into the paranormal as well. And if you tell them about a location that you'd like to check, an old abandoned building, sometimes they will come with you and escort you through the investigation. It's always best to go during the daylight hours so that you can fully see if there are holes in the floor, exposed wiring, asbestos, black mold, other things that can be equally devastating and damaging. But a lot of these places do turn into flop houses at night. And if you go in there, I don't bring a weapon, don't bring guns, because those can get taken away and turned on you pretty quick. But you really have to know where you're at. You should be there in a group. Don't go just one or two of you. And if you have a friend that's a cop that will assist you and maybe even get permission for you to go into these locations, so much the better. I know it's so fun for your YouTube channel to just sneak into these locations, but it shouldn't be at the cost of your life. So please be careful. That one really worries me. I know a lot of people out there are doing the urban exploration and just sneaking in and out of joints, and you just don't know. Yeah.
It's always abandoned buildings that have the work I had to do on my house just to move in, and that was nothing. You go to an abandoned house, it's been sitting there rotting forever. And that's not even talking about the people why are you trusting this place to have people that are not ne'er-do-wells? What are you talking about?
Well, and let's face it, we talk about paranormal unity. There's not a whole lot of that in our field. We got a lot of drama and jackasses, to be honest with you. And you might not even be up against drug addicts and criminals. You just may be up against a couple of other paranormal investigators that are a little territorial. Wow. So really, you have to be careful. Well, Greg, I'm telling the truth. You know that there are people like that they make these weird claims on properties. And I'll tell you what's really kind of shocking is I bet more and more of the haunted locations right now, the owners seem to be going cuckoo, right? I'm
Yeah.
hearing it daily. People are like standing up and saying, do not go to this place, do not go to this place. And many people are coming forward with these horror stories of the owners and the people running them that are either A, they know for a fact manipulating and lying about the experiences that are happening there to just get money, or B, they're pumping prices way through the roof and creating false narratives to make it seem more appealing. But some of these new owners or old owners are kind of going off the deep end. So you really have to be careful, very careful.
Very true.
I know.
Very true. I've run into that a little bit. And
Jason Hawes and Grant Wilson talked about a case. It was an elderly woman who was dealing with something, and they went there to investigate, and she let him in and even made him like cookies or something. And then at one point she like left the room and then came back in brandishing a weapon and wanted to know who they were and why they were in her house.
Yikes.
So you got to be really cautious, even sometimes of the people calling you in, right? Very strange. This is another one of those nightmare fuel. Good luck with this, folks. And I like that I'm keeping it near the end of the show. So this is something you can marinate on tonight. Picture this. It's the early hours of a Wednesday morning on Mexico's Highway 57 near Castanos. I believe that's how you say it. Axel Gabriel Rizzo Trejo is behind the wheel of his Kenworth semi, hauling a hefty load of 500 butchered pigs from Sabrina's to a meatpacking plant in San Luis Potosi. The road is dark, the night still, and then bam, a ghostly figure of a girl appears, floating right in his path. Axel swerves to avoid her, loses control, and the truck tips over at kilometer 170. That's the mile marker. When rescue teams arrive, they find Axel trapped in the cab, shaken and injured. He was in shock, reportedly insisting that he veered off the road to avoid hitting a spectral girl who suddenly appeared and was hovering on the road, or hoovering, however you feel the need to hear it. Now, skeptics, I know you're going to chalk this up to fatigue, a tired driver nodding off during the long drive and maybe dreaming up this apparition. But authorities did note that exhaustion could have played a role, leading to Axel possibly hallucinating the ghost figure. But here's where it gets creepier. Highway 57 has a big reputation. It's been the scene of numerous accidents, and some locals whisper about it being haunted. There are tales of drivers encountering mysterious figures on the road, only for them to vanish without a trace. So what do you think? Was Axel's encounter a mere trick of an exhausted mind, or did he genuinely come face to face with one of Highway 57's restless spirits? Either way, it's a chilling reminder to stay alert on those long, lonely drives. And boy, I'll tell you, you do have to be really cautious. Have you guys heard of micro napping?
Tell us about it.
It sounds like a joke. I'm not joking. I used to host Coast to Coast AM. Sometimes I do my radio show for 3 hours from 9 o'clock till midnight, and then I would take over Coast to Coast midnight till 4 a.m. And then I would drive home at 5 o'clock, an hour and a half back, and I would be exhausted. And I would have my hand on the wheel, eyes wide open, and all of a sudden I kind of jerk the wheel and feel like I woke up, but my eyes never closed. I never fell asleep. What happens is sometimes you get so exhausted that you do these things called micro naps where your brain literally just turns itself off. Eyes open, you're in the middle of doing something, and you're done. They talk about drunk driving being such a high risk for car accidents. Drowsy driving is even worse.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that sleepy driving is worse because I think anyway, yes, it's terrible. You should not be driving if you're exhausted.
When you get a connection that works again, we'll listen to what you have to say. We're not hearing you. You're breaking up and so
that's how you look.
I'm sure you had a lot of cool things to say.
Actually, I could hear her pretty good. You're breaking up pretty bad.
Oh, it's me now?
Yeah. I can hear you. I can hear her. She's not lagging at all. You've been lagging all night.
Yep.
Wow. Thanks for letting me know. An hour in that I've been lagging.
You could have fixed it.
What, we're going to tell your kids to get off the internet? No, that's your job.
Would be the job. You'd think that you should do that, but yeah. All right, let's get to it. We've only got a couple stories left.
Ooh.
Greg,
hey buddy, hey
you
buddy.
would think this would be a story I would give to Tressa, but I have it on good authority. She doesn't like monsters or Bigfoot, so this is
That's
all you.
Crazy. Yeah. I know she kind of shies away from that stuff, but the apple snatching Albert Witch, Lancaster's.
What?
Yeah, apple snatching Albert Witch. All right, Darklings. If you thought Bigfoot was the only hairy mischief maker out there, think again. Turns out Pennsylvania has its own pint-sized cryptid. Yeah. And this
Adorable.
one is a serious thing for apples. You know about it, Tressa? Oh, I'm sorry, sweet.
I'm sorry. What was the question? Do I know about apples?
Yeah, no, you know about this little pint-sized dude running around stealing people's apples?
Nope. Tell me.
Okay. Meet the Albert Witch. It's a tiny terror from Lancaster County, said to stand about 4 feet tall, covered in hair, and sneakier than a raccoon on a sugar rush. Legend has it.
Wow, that's sneaky.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. They're very aggressive. Legend has it that these little guys hang out in the trees near Chickies Rock, a scenic overlook along the Susquehanna River. And what do they do there? Nothing major, just steal apples from unsuspecting picnickers. And in true gremlin fashion, they chunk the cores back at you. Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're saying a lot of words that aren't words, but keep going.
Yeah, chunk the cores.
Mm-hmm.
Rude, yes. Hilarious, also yes. Now, the name Albert Witch might sound like a German snack cake, but it's believed to be short for apple snitch, like snitching stuff, like stealing stuff. Apple snitch, Albert Witch, it's the same thing. Some folklore, some folks think it's even has roots in old Pennsylvania, Dutch, or German folklore. I have no idea what I just said. Whatever the case, it's been part of local lore for centuries. In fact, some say the Susquehannock people who lived there long before us depicted similar creatures on their shields. So this legend goes way back. And get this, the town of Columbia, PA has a whole festival in honor of this fruity little fandom. It's called the Albert Witch Day, and it's been running since 2014. There's music, speakers, haunted trolley tours, and yes, you guessed it, my friends, plenty of apples. Just keep your eye on them. You never know when one might go missing or come flying back at your head. So,
wait, which one? The apple or the little guy?
Yeah, it would be the apple core. See, he eats it and then he throws it back at you.
Why would I care if that went missing?
And then throws the core back at you.
Yeah, but why would I care if an apple core went missing?
Next time you're wandering through the woods with a Honeycrisp in hand, be on alert. You might not be alone. The Albert Witch could be watching, waiting, and very, very hungry. Makes sense to me. Back to you, Dave.
All right, folks, I'm just going to give you a little warning here. Sweet Tea has been drinking even before the show, and she might have the longest story of the night.
Do I?
So prep your glass, get ready. 2 stories left. Sweet Tea's in charge of this near last one. You have the con number 1.
Hold on.
Oh, God, she's getting a little speaking juice in her.
Speaking juice.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what this is about.
Oh.
Are we all just living in the Matrix? Okay, Darklings, brace yourself.
Wow.
This one's going to melt your brain a little. A physicist named Melvin Vopson is making headlines for bringing some serious science to an idea that sounds like pure science fiction, that we might all be living in a computer simulation. Yep, like we're characters inside the world's most advanced video game, and reality as we know it is code. Now hang on, this isn't just some stoner theory from a college dorm room. This idea has actually been kicked around by some serious thinkers, including tech moguls like including tech moguls like Elon Musk, who said that the odds we're not living in a simulation are 1 in billions. So what's the latest twist? Dr. Vopson thinks that information, the stuff that makes up all our thoughts, actions, and even physical matter, might actually have mass. In other words, he's asking, what if information itself is the fundamental building block of the universe? Not atoms, not energy, but bits of data. If that's true, then the universe doesn't just act like a computer, it is one. And here's where it gets weirder. You guys ready? If our universe operates on information like a massive program, then maybe the reason we have laws of physics, consistent rules, and predictable behaviors is because it's all been coded that way. Think of it like this. You're playing a super detailed video game. Everything looks and feels real. You can interact with the world, but you're still inside a program, running on a set of rules written by someone or something else. That's the idea here. We could be living in a high-res cosmic simulation, and we wouldn't even know. Now, to be fair, not everyone in the science world is sold on this. Some physicists think that the universe is too chaotic and random to be a simulation, that it's way more complex than any programmer would bother designing. Others think this is more philosophy than science. But if you've ever had deja vu, if you've ever felt like reality just glitched a little, or if you've stared up at the stars and thought, none of this feels real, you're not alone. And now there's a growing number of scientists starting to wonder the same thing. So the next thing your phone autocorrects ducking one too many times, maybe it's not a glitch. Maybe it's just the simulation reminding you who's boss. Back to you, Dave.
I don't know how I feel about this.
I hate it, but also, meh.
I didn't understand any of it.
I know.
Again, it just kind of tells you I don't know that free will exists in the Matrix. We're all just kind of computer simulations running around doing their thing. I don't know.
Right, but like the fact that we're trying to figure out makes me feel like there is at least free thought. I don't know.
All I know is after that, I'm out of booze.
You drank that whole bottle of Southern Comfort? Are you dead? Oh, in the glass. You put like a shot in that giant glass.
Shut your mouth.
All right, let's go. We've got our final story, and this kind of lends itself into this matrixing concept because you start realizing we don't have any concept of what death is yet, right? Maybe that's why they call it medical practice. We haven't got it right. I don't know. That's just me thinking out loud. Let's jump into this story. Gather around, my little friends, because science might have just peeked behind the veil and uncovered something revolutionary. You've heard the stories, bright lights, out-of-body experiences, light flashing before your eyes, but now neuroscientists are saying, hey, we've got data on that. Recently, doctors were monitoring an 87-year-old patient who sadly passed during the study, but not before they recorded something wild. In the 30 seconds before and after his heart stopped, his brain lit up like a Christmas tree. Specifically, researchers noticed bursts of gamma brainwaves, the kind associated with high-level cognitive functions like dreaming, memory recall, and even moments of deep meditation. So what's that mean? Well, it could explain those life review moments people report when they come back from the brink. Your brain might literally be flipping through the scrapbook of your life one last time. Now, here's where I think it gets a little bit more intriguing. Dr. Stuart Hemmeroff, an anesthesiologist who's no stranger to the edge of consciousness, believes this isn't just a last gasp of brain activity. It could be evidence of consciousness leaving the body. He's talked about this gamma synchrony, I think that's the word, lasting up to 90 seconds after clinical death. And he thinks it might connect to quantum level processes inside our neurons. So in simpler terms, He's saying science might be catching a glimpse of the soul in motion. Of course, skeptics say it's just the brain's way of fading out gracefully, like the lights flickering before the power goes on. But these findings are part of a growing body of research that suggests something more, something mysterious that may be actually going on. So the next time someone tells you those near-death visions are just hallucinations, you can smile and say, maybe, or maybe you should just shut the hell up.
That part.
Yeah. That's it. That's,
fading out gracefully. When has my brain done anything gracefully like that right there? Nope. No.
Can't think of one time I've known you for that.
Thank you.
I do want to make a quick mention. This weekend, Hillview Manor, big special event, Newcastle, Pennsylvania. It's going to be a weekend fun with me. Saturday, April 5th. There will be a Q&A. There will be a meet and greet. There will be a historic tour of haunted, historic Hillview Manor. And then we get to do an investigation that night together. And I am psyched. I hope you'll join me. Tickets available at darknessevents.com. There are prices for just about everybody's budget, so go check it out. And while you're there, check out the Haunted Shanley Hotel event in Napanoch, New York, taking place April 25th and 26th. Tickets starting at just $25. Meet and greet, presentations, gallery readings, paranormal investigating, and more. Plus, I'm there with Scotty the Medium live and in person, and we'd love to meet you. And I hope that you'll come on out and join us. Greg, Sweet Tea, thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to catch up with you two and to share these little insights into the strange and the supernatural world around us. But before we leave, from phantom hitchhikers to psychic spies, monster sightings to presidential spirits, tonight proved once again there is no escape from the strange. Whether you believe we're being watched from the skies, haunted by the past, or just sharing apples with a little woodland Bigfoot, one thing's certain: the world is weird, and we're here for it. On behalf of Sweet Tea, Greg, and our special correspondent, Mike Rothmiller, I'm Dave Schrader, reminding you, stay curious, stay weird, and always, always check under the bed. We'll see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, right here on the Paranormal 60 News.
Wednesday night and I'm alone. The Paranormal 60's on. It's just for paranormal freaks like me, with poltergeists and ghosts and blues and UAVs. You miss a word, you do a shot. It starts to snowball and we laugh a lot. It's just like drinking with your TV friends. I'll be passed out before tonight's show ends, dreaming the aliens are taking me away. I'll go wake up for sometime late on Saturday. It's Wednesday night and I'm alone. The Paranormal 60's on. Schrader's on. Schrader's on. Schrader's on. Sweet Tea, Hachi and the Colonel and the Paranormal Detective. All we traders copy and they all will be corrected. He's got protective bracelets and some crazy magic tricks. Even Scully cannot save him from the voice of Stevie Nicks. Schrader's on. Schrader's on. Wednesday night, don't be alone. The Paranormal 60's on. Now one day Dave might even put me on the show. There's a ghost in my mom's basement, man, I live down there, I know. It's Wednesday night, don't be alone. The Paranormal 60's on.